Nas probably never been done for him in his life. He's never been that viral at all, ever.
One rapper is spiraling into what looks like a full-blown public meltdown, while the other, he's just chilling. Calm, silent, unbothered. Jim Jones has been firing off shots left and right, going on podcasts, hopping on IG Live, throwing out subliminal threats, and doing everything short of skywriting Nas's name across the New York skyline. He wants a war. He's begging for one.
I admired Nas, but remember Nas' first record, The Barbecue, came out when I was in 11th grade. Yes.
But Nas, man, hasn't said a single word. No diss track, no IG story. Not even a cryptic emoji. While Jim rants like a man who's had enough, Nas is out here doing red carpets, winning awards, signing multi-million-dollar investment deals, and dropping Grammy-nominated albums like it's just another Tuesday. So what gives? Why is Jim so worked up? And why is Nas refusing to even blink? Is this really a beef, or is it just one man shouting into the void while the other builds an empire in silence? Stick around, because this story doesn't start today. It's rooted in something much older, something deeper, something bitter, the ancient grudge nobody talks about. To really understand why Jim Jones can't seem to let Nas live in peace, we gotta rewind. All the way back to the early 2000s. Hip-hop was wild back then. Boroughs were at war, egos were massive, and respect wasn't given, it was earned. The Diplomats, Dipset were taking over Harlem. Jim Jones, Cameron, Juelz Santana, they weren't just rappers, they were style icons, street ambassadors, and mixtape kings. But despite the buzz, despite the movement, there was always this quiet tension, especially with Nas. Word on the street is Nas once called Dipset just mixtape rappers during a radio interview. Now maybe he meant it casually, maybe he didn't mean it at all. But to a crew trying to cement their place in the game, that stung hard. And Jim, he never forgot it. From that moment on, there was a quiet grudge, a cold war of sorts. Nas never said much about it, but Jim, that one sentence lit a fire in him that never went out. He felt disrespected, overlooked, maybe even underestimated, and instead of letting it fade like most industry tensions do, he held onto it like a grudge passed down through generations. You could see it in interviews, hear it in verses, little jabs, side remarks, and occasional swipes. It never exploded into a full-blown beef, but it always simmered just beneath the surface. The rise of Nas, the rage of Jim. After surviving his beef with Jay-Z, one of the most brutal battles in hip-hop history, Nas didn't just win respect, he became untouchable. He dropped classics, invested in tech, partnered with Hennessy, made documentaries. While most rappers faded into nostalgia, Nas evolved. And Jim, he stayed loud, he stayed outside, he stayed working, yes, but it was always a grind, always uphill. He hustled like a man with something to prove, and maybe that's the root of it all. Every time Nas dropped an album and the world praised it, Jim seemed to get loud, like each compliment for Nas was a reminder of what he wasn't getting. And here's the crazy part, Nas never once mentioned him. No shout-out, no diss, no shade, nothing. That silence, it was deafening. And for Jim, it probably felt like disrespect. Imagine shouting into a canyon and getting nothing back. That's what this dynamic looked like. And instead of cooling off over the years, it just boiled. The meltdown moment. It was only a matter of time before Jim finally snapped. And when he did, it was loud, unexpected, and honestly, kind of desperate. In a now infamous interview, Jim questioned Nas's relevance. He said, and I quote, "Name 5 people you know that still listen to Nas." That wasn't just a diss, that was character assassination. He wasn't attacking Nas's bars, he was going after the entire legacy. The internet lost its mind. Twitter exploded. YouTube reactors couldn't upload fast enough. Instagram turned into a war zone. Even Jim's own fans were scratching their heads. Like, why now? Why say that? And the time couldn't have been more suspicious. Nas had just dropped another project with Hit Boy. Another one critics were calling timeless. Meanwhile, Jim's music wasn't exactly setting the world on fire. So people started asking, was this really about Nas, or was Jim trying to hijack the headline? Maybe this wasn't beef, maybe it was strategy. And if it was, it backfired. Because instead of luring Nas into battle, Jim found himself yelling alone. The king of silence. Now here's where it gets poetic. After all the chaos, Nas still didn't say a word. Nothing. Not even a sly double entendre. And that silence? Man, it was louder than any diss track could have ever been. Because when someone at Nas's level chooses silence, it's not because they're scared, it's because they don't see you as a threat. That's not disrespect, it's dominance. Nas didn't need to step down from his throne to address the noise. He let his legacy speak. And his legacy? It's ironclad. From Illmatic to King's Disease, from beefing with giants to partnering with billionaires, Nas's resume is untouched. And Jim, he got angrier, louder, more animated. But that's the thing about shouting into silence. It makes you look off balance. And the fans, they noticed. Fanbase warfare. What followed was pure internet chaos. Dipset loyalists took to social media with fire in their hearts, defending Jim and accusing Naz of being overrated. They said he wasn't relevant, that his time was over. Meanwhile, Naz's army came out swinging, posting lyrical breakdowns, quoting one mic, "Made you look, the world is yours." Comment sections turned into battlegrounds. Reddit threads exploded. Even non-fans started picking sides. And through it all, Naz said nothing. It was like watching a chess master ignore a tantrum across the board. And honestly, it worked. The more silent Naz stayed, the louder the debates became. It almost felt strategic, like he wanted the internet to bury Jim like he knew the noise would cancel itself out. The ultimate power move. Then when the drama peaked, and fans were practically begging Naz to say something, he made his move. But it wasn't a diss track, it wasn't even a bar. Instead, Naz dropped a surprise collaboration with Jay-Z, the man he once warred with in what many call the greatest rap battle of all time. Think about that. While Jim was stuck in a solo shouting match, Naz was linking with former enemies, elevating his game, and making legendary moves in silence. The collab? Fire. Critics loved it. Fans went crazy. And the message? Clear as day. Naz wasn't interested in beef. He was busy building a dynasty. That wasn't just a response, that was checkmate. The power play no one expected. Just when the noise hit its peak and fans were begging for a response, Naz made his move. But it wasn't what anyone expected. No diss track, no press conference, not even a subliminal post. Instead, he dropped a surprise collaboration with Jay-Z. Yes, the very man he once battled in one of hip-hop's most legendary beefs. The message? Clearer than any diss could ever be. While Jim was busy yelling into the void, Naz was out here aligning with icons, elevating his legacy on a whole different level. And to make it sting even more, the track wasn't just fire, it was critically acclaimed, trending everywhere, and dripping with grown man confidence. It was a power play that silenced the chaos without saying a single word about Jim. Fans were stunned. Even those siding with Jim had to admit, this wasn't just chess, it was checkmate, the silence that shook the game. So in the end, one rapper lost himself in noise, the other used silence as a sword. Jim Jones raged, screamed, demanded attention. Naz, he never flinched, never blinked, and somehow came out louder than ever. Because in this game, sometimes the most powerful thing you can say is nothing at all. But now it's your turn. Was Naz being calculated, or just truly unbothered? Did Jim's outburst damage his legacy, or did he say what others were too afraid to? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you want more raw, real, and untold drama from the rap world, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, because trust me,